So, but Jim Cornette was trying to get into the Georgia market, of course, the Atlanta TV, if he could get into that. And so he would come down to the Cobb County Civic Center and do shows. And he, like I say, he already had the relationship with WWE. So, Luger came down there, Macho Man came down there. It was a big deal.
Where was the first place you got a job? I know you worked some independents around Georgia, but where was the first place you went and started thinking, okay, I'm on the right path. I think I got a chance of making it now?
On that same, fast forward from 1986 to 1990, that same Superstars of Wrestling block was still there, but there was no territories left. I think y'all were out in Global.
Yeah.
Y'all were in Global at the time. And but they had a company called North Georgia Wrestling. It was based out of Atlanta. New Jack and Mustafa, Scotty Riggs. There's all kind of people that came through there and came out of there and actually went somewhere. But it was ran by a couple of guys, Sammy Kent and Danny Dees. But it was it was a territory around the Atlanta area. We did stuff up in North Georgia, and we had TV. So that was actually my first break, and that led to, they had Jim Cornette was at the time, the Joe Pedicino thing. They had Smoky Mountain, Memphis, and North Georgia Wrestling. It had dwindled down to three shows. So, but Jim Cornette was trying to get into the Georgia market, of course, the Atlanta TV, if he could get into that. And so he would come down to the Cobb County Civic Center and do shows. And he, like I say, he already had the relationship with WWE. So, Luger came down there, Macho Man came down there. It was a big deal. And because we helped promote it and we had his TV show on our TV, he would give us a match on it every time he came down. And I think the first ones were New Jack and Mustafa. And they got a match on it. Cornette saw him, pulled him to Smoky Mountain. Well, I'd kind of become friends with him, and I had made the rounds at that point. I'd only been in about a year, but Bob Armstrong loved me for whatever reason. He saw something in me and took care of me. And Ricky and Robert, they liked me, and several other people that were up there at the time. So I finally got my shot on the Cobb County show, and Cornette, I think, Ricky probably shoved him out the door and locked it behind him, so he'd have to stand out there and watch my match. But he did, and I did the leg drop, and that got over with him huge. I came back and he said, well, I ain't never seen nobody do it like that except for Bobby. He said, I don't have a spot for you right now, but let me see what I can do. And so I went to Puerto Rico and did a little quick tour down there. And when I came back, he had left a message and said, hey, call me, and I did. And that's what got me to Smoky Mountain. And then from there, that's where it got me to New York.
Yeah. How long were you in Smoky Mountain?
Oh man. That was my first territory I killed. Yeah, that was first in a long line of, I think I went there in maybe May of that year, and we shut down. It was the Christmas. I think it was our Christmas tour. Right after Thanksgiving, and Cornette came in the dressing room. I think it was Crossville, Tennessee, and said, guys, I gave it all I could. I ain't got no more. I'm going to work for Vince full time. I'll try to get you all up there if I can. And I remember riding home that night, because at this point, my goal when I got into business, my goal was, if I can make $500 a week, I can quit my regular job toting furniture around and be a pro wrestler. And I had done that at that point. Now, I wasn't quite making $500, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
350 was close enough to 5.
That's close enough.
Close enough. So, but now I'm driving home, and I got, God, what am I going to tell everybody? Now I'm looking for a job, and, don't know what I'm going to do. But once again, Ted Allen kind of came to my rescue. He still had the moving business he'd had for years. And so he'd throw me some moving jobs and some indie bookings, and I'd take care of the rest of it. And I kept my head above water till I got the call.
And then it's right. We all have that magic figure. My figure back in 1969 was $250. If I can make $250, I get me a tank of gas every night. I get me a
Yep.
6-pack of beer, and if I'm lucky, I can find me a lady. You know. But $250, it costs $25 a night. You know, when you're starting out, that was good money back in the late
Yeah.
'60s. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
our first
we all have that figure.
I remember our first $100 payday. It was I thought, brother, I'm rich. I've done it.
Yeah, I made it. I made it.
Yeah.
Bob Armstrong brought me over to Alabama. He saw me maybe 4 or 5 matches in, and he said, "Do you have a hockey mask?" And I said, "No, sir, but I get one." I knew right where he was going. So once again, living in Georgia, and Carrollton, Georgia is about 15 miles from Alabama. So I grew up watching Alabama wrestling too. And I think Sid was doing it at the time, Lord Humongous. So Bob brought me over to Alabama and put the hockey mask on me, and he would use me everywhere he went, and he would use me as a baby face. And he would take me out he would tell me, make sure you bring pictures. So I'd bring pictures, and he would hand lead me out to the gimmick table and turn me around, and I'd stand there and I'd sell sometimes $100, $150 worth of pictures, just off of his name. So,
hey, what were you selling the pictures for? Do you remember?
Oh God, $2, $3 a piece, I think.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And it wasn't 8x10s. They were just like the regular size pictures you got at the time,
Yeah. Yeah, I would sell them for a buck or two. Yeah. I remember that. I remember the old baby face. You'd be so proud of yourself when you made 20 or 30 bucks.
Yeah.